Start? Are we ready to start this exciting committee hearing today? First, let me say good morning to each and every one of you. Wish you a happy New Year's. Glad you're here, and hopefully everything goes well for you in 2008. I'm joined today by my dear friend and colleague, Ed Reyes. Unfortunately, it does not appear that we're going to have a quorum today, so the actions that we will take on this day will be communications from the chair that will go to full council. We're joined today by Alan. Many of you know my good city clerk, strong left hand. Alan has informed me today that we're joined by Karen, who is known as Wonder Woman. And maybe you could explain what Wonder Woman is doing here today, Alan.
We're doing a test for the audio-on-demand portion now. They're expanding it from the council meetings to the committee meetings as well. So Granicus audio-on-demand, and Karen Rodriguez from our esteemed Karen Rodriguez from our systems group is here. She is known as Wonder Woman. Although there's veiled references to her golden lariat, but she has yet to divulge any of that information.
I don't know if I want to delve into that any. I think maybe we
wise choice, sir.
Maybe we quit while we are ahead. But anyway, like you said, that we'll be running a test on the audio, so I will urge everybody here to watch your language. Children may be listening. Okay, with that said, Ms. Barclay or Mr. City Attorney, let me first get your okay to move forward. I know that you're going to say it's all right, but I want you to earn your pay this day. Is it okay, you think, from a legal standpoint, for me to proceed, even though I don't have a quorum?
Yes, council member, as you correctly indicated, everything will, if it's approved, will go as a communication from the chair.
Okay, and I can kind of do it the way that I want it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you would stop me okay. All right, with that said, we have 6 items today, 5 of which I think we can move rather quickly, even though I do have a request on item 4 for public comment. So, Ms. Barclay, let's do this. I'm going to ask you to read items 1 through 3, and then we'll do item 4, and then we'll bring up Gordon, who wants to speak on item 4. So if we could start with items 1 through 3.
Mr. Chair, item 1 is a report from the Community Redevelopment Agency and the Chief Legislative Analyst relative to increasing a purchase order for Goldfarb and Littman for legal services related to the Grand Avenue project.
Okay, then as a communique from the chair, we will adopt the CLA report, item 2.
Item 2 is a communication from the CRA and the City Administrative Officer relative to establishing a pre-qualified pool of 5 arts organizations to be eligible to enter into agreements in the North Hollywood Arts Retention Program. Okay,
then we will adopt the CAO report as a communique from the chair, item 3.
Item 3 are reports from the Community Redevelopment Agency and the City Administrative Officer relative to a cooperation agreement between the CRA and the Board of Public Workforce as needed services.
Okay, we will adopt the CRA report on that. Has somebody been messing with my chair? Do I look shorter?
Never.
Item 5. It doesn't feel right. Item 5.
Mr. Weston, on item 3, there is a CAO report on file that makes some minor adjustments to the CRA recommendations.
Which one? On
item 3. Do you wish to adopt
so then
the
we'll
CAO
adopt
report
it as amended.
Yes.
Okay. So then let's go to item 5.
Item 5 is CRA and Chief Legislative Analyst reports and a resolution relative to providing up to $150,000 in AB 1290 funds to the Department of General Services for the purchase and installation of security cameras in the Westlake Recovery Redevelopment Project area.
Okay, then we'll adopt the CLA report. Now we have read item 4, and Gordon Tober, or I'll let you, I don't want to mess it up. But anyway, you read item 4, then Gordon
Item 4 are reports from the CRA and the CLA relative to an exclusive negotiation agreement with Wayans Pacifica Capital, Inc. for the redevelopment of Block 25 in the Wilmington Industrial Park.
Okay, good morning. State your name and state your case.
Good morning, Mr. Weston. Gordon Tuber from Councilwoman Janice Hahn's office. Happy New Year. The Councilwoman is in full support of the item before you. The exclusive negotiation agreement with the CRA and Wayans Pacifica allows the CRA to move forward working with Wayans and the existing property owners. We're excited to work with Wayans Pacifica. They're a very well-qualified developer that has shown us that they have built similar such projects in our South Bay area previously. And this project will help to put some rather dormant real estate into motion and help it to become a productive part of the Wilmington Industrial Park. And it's something that's going to help to create entrepreneurial opportunities and help to create jobs. And I'm sure you're aware of the big economic engine of the Port of Los Angeles. This property is right next to the port. And with the port's effort to create green growth and reduce pollution, it's also creating an opportunity for new businesses to come to the area that complement that type of business. So the proposed project between the CRA and Wayans Pacifica is a, if you want to call it like a small industrial condo project that will provide new site opportunities for those type of businesses.
Okay, I want you to tell Council Member Hahn that Mr. Reyes and I had serious concerns about this issue, and we were going to recommend that we just stop this, but your riveting and moving testimony. I can't speak for Ed, but what I can say is that you have changed you have my support now.
I am so impressed I am without words.
Yeah.
Well, I always say at the CRA in our office we work as a team, and so they asked me to come here and support them today, and I'm here to do that. And
You did an excellent job.
Thank you both.
You really did.
All right.
And we will adopt the CLA report on this item. That brings us to our last item.
Mr. Chair?
Oh, Mr. Reyes?
Yes, I do have one question on item 5.
Can we go back?
Is there staff here?
Item 5. Do we have staff here on item 5?
Real quick.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Reyes.
That's okay. No, you were on a roll. I didn't want to ruin the momentum there. The timing issue on our ability to put this in place, is there a time frame that we can look at in terms of implementing these lights, actually putting them in the corridor?
Once it's approved by City Council and we get some kind of verification on the actual price, we could request the necessary transfer of the funds. And it would be up to the general city the department to coordinate the installation and the location.
So it'll be GSD in coordination with the police department?
Yes.
Okay, great. As you know, this is the corridor in which the baby was shot a few months ago. And this is a critical step in that we want to make sure the bad guys understand that we are now monitoring that corridor. As you know, Max, we've been dealing with this corridor for years
Yes, we have.
in terms of its impact on the community, so hoping we'll have a rather significant change, knowing that whoever goes in there to do what they do in terms of the drug sales and everything else, that the cameras will be there and hopefully it'll be a deterrent. So I appreciate that. I mean, for me, this is very important that we move this as quick as possible.
Thank you. We will.
And so who in the GSD is working on this, you know? Any personnel?
I'd like to ask Jose Gardea. He's been working directly with GSD staff.
Okay, then I'll talk to my chief of staff.
Thank you.
I thought you had that readily in your notes. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Mr. Reyes is, let me ask, is there a way that we can have them keep us apprised of the project? Do you want to do something official, or can it just be direct discussions with your staff? Because I I know how important this is, and you want to see it happen in a timely fashion. I want to make sure the ball we don't fumble it.
No, I appreciate it, Mr. Chair. Let me talk to my staff to see how quick they're going to do it. If there's any ambiguity, then we'll take that step. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Because, see, it's things like this that I think make a tremendous difference. And, every day or week you delay, we just want this to move as quickly as possible. With that, we have item 6, which seems like another very, very exciting item. So, Ms. Barclay, if you could read item 6.
Item 6 is a motion. We saw Gruel relative to various actions concerning a donation of a television studio by Time Warner Cable to the Boyle Heights Technology Youth Center. Our office has prepared a set of technical amendments to the motion that will allow the department to successfully implement the intent, including authorizations for the necessary contracts and memorandums of understanding.
So,
We've provided those to the clerk.
Are you going to speak to this, or do we have someone from?
There's staff from CDD and...
Let's go. CDD, let's talk about this. One second. Is the gentleman in the green suit with you guys? And he's got a little red lanyard and a green tie? No, because
our assistant general manager.
When I said, CDD come forward, he got up, spun around, and sat back down. You try. I just wanted, because I'm looking and I'm saying, why is he doing that?
It was a Temptations move.
It was a Temptations move, but it makes sense now. I got it. Yes.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Jimmy Valenzuela. I'm with. Left it in the car. I was running to make sure I got here on time.
Now go on.
I'm with CDD. I'm the director for the Youth Opportunity Movement, housed at the Boyle Heights Technology Youth Center. And to the right,
I'm Dean Leavenworth with Time Warner Cable.
My old friend.
So Times Warner is making this donation to add a TV studio at the Boyle Heights Technology Youth Center. What we are planning on doing with the TV studio is integrated into our program that we serve young people, 14 to 24-year-olds, teaching them journalism, teaching them how to run a TV studio, and reporting.
So let me stop you. You do that already? Or you have some kind of a program where you do that? And you're the director, so you're there every day?
Correct.
You have to be excited about this.
I'm very excited. I've been with the division for 8 years now. I've done various parts of program. Early on, even in Councilmember Reyes' office, I started an entrepreneur program in the William Meade Housing Developments, which was a huge success. And over the years, the department has allowed me to think out of the box and excel in helping young people move forward. It's innovating to have young people use their minds. A lot of people say, they're out there killing each other. I look at it differently. I think they have an opportunity to take advantage of what we have to offer.
It's nothing like cameras and equipment to get the interest of our children. So how is this going to work?
Well, we've already started.
I'm being nosy because I'm going to lean on my good friend. Give me a camera.
We've already started a program, a film and music program, and the youth just finished an environmental documentary in the community, not globally, but about what young people are trying to do to better their own community. So that's been the start already.
So they went out,
yes,
and they had sound equipment or whatever and a camera, and they filmed it and edited it,
yes.
I'd like a copy of the DVD or whatever.
Yes, definitely. We're finishing it. It's a 5-minute little piece.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice. We're finishing it up this week, and that's been the start. I've had an instructor that graduated from USC through a small grant through Alley County of Ed to hire 2 instructors, one of being a music instructor and second being a film instructor, and teaching them the whole gamut of film and music, not just getting the camera and running out there and creating just film and music, learning the theory, learning what it is to be a musician, and then getting your hands on. Last year, we were able to raise private funds to put in a full recording studio at the Technology Youth Center.
Get out.
That's the goal, is to get young people into the recording studio and produce their own CDs. But we want them to learn the basics and then get into the CD. The same thing with the TV studio is now they're getting hands-on with the theory and the process of film. Now get them to the point where they can run their own TV studio. Imagine of inner city youth in our communities being anchors, going out and reporting on the positive.
Trust me,
Of
I
our
can
city.
imagine it. So now let me find out, what all do they, I mean, what is an entire studio?
Well, the reason that we're doing this, just to give you a little background, is that when Time Warner took over operation of the cable systems in Los Angeles, we inherited a facility in East LA that, by all accounts, from our opinion, the employees and the folks who use it was just substandard, and we needed to get out of that building and find some place that was going to be inviting. Also, as you're probably aware, the new state law that was enacted about cable television means that we're going to be out of the public access business in 2009. So we're trying. There's a short-term goal, which is get out of that building. And then the long-term goal was, if you're going to move into some place and move in a direction that's going to have long-term benefits to the community. So essentially what we're doing is just buying new equipment. I think it's 3 cameras, switcher, lights. We're putting in what's called a lighting grid, which are those poles that hang down from the ceiling to hang lights on.
Yeah.
Curtains, other equipment, mixers to hook into the really fantastic recording studio. And that'll go in there and we'll operate it. Time Warner will staff it.
You're going to staff it?
We'll staff it for the first year to continue what we're already committed to do.
So what does staffing mean in a case like this? 1 body, 2 bodies?
Couple of people, somebody to schedule and producer or a production supervisor. And then obviously, as people come in to produce, you help coordinate crews and the like. And the good part about the location that we chose is it's well run. It's well utilized. It's open, 8 to 8 every day. So depending on what the city decides to do in the future, there's any number of possibilities for good use in that facility, and the equipment will be there and it'll be given to the city when we're out of that business. So it'll be nothing more than a year old. We may bring some equipment, but we're not dragging a bunch of old stuff. We're putting new things in, unless we have good serviceable equipment. And when we're done, we just kind of say, here it is, or, to quote William Mulholland, here it is, take it.
Anyway, we've just been joined by our colleague, Tony Cardenas, so we do have a quorum, so we'll quickly go over some of the items that we discussed earlier. But, this I want to commend you.
Thank you.
And this is the kind of thing that really excites me personally, because I know what it does to the children. I mean, you can change a life with something like this. So that is a very exciting project, and it seems like you have a real passion, and I can't think of a better person to, represent us trying to make this get together. So you then, for a year, will provide staff.
Correct.
Then training your operation to take over when they move out.
Yes.
Exactly.
And the department is committed to giving you the resources that you need to take over these positions.
Yes.
And we're talking about training kids. I mean, this looks like from soups to nuts, where they'll know how to edit these things, how to set up the lighting, where people should stand, the sound. That is
Yes, and we've already started to build a bridge. My goal is to get young people crossing that bridge into the entertainment industry.
Well, it only makes sense. It's one of the largest
Yes.
industries that we have in our region, and there's so many opportunities for children of all children, but children of color in particular, to do all kinds of things. So this, to me, makes a heck of a lot of sense. I just wish that, do you guys have any buildings in my district?
Well, I'm glad you asked. This facility is one facility, and it has its own specific purpose and
Could there
relative.
potentially be 15?
Yeah.
We-
No, look,
well,
can we just have three more?
I'm glad.
We only need
Once
three
again,
more.
Once again, I'm glad you asked. We have a program separate but very similar, our technology centers. We opened our first Time Warner Technology Center, or Time Warner Cable Technology Center, on the 15th of December at the Hollenbeck Youth Center. And there's a number of reasons for it being at Hollenbeck. I have known of Hollenbeck for many years and was actually on the board there. That's not why we did it, but I certainly helped assure that we knew what was going on. We had a ribbon cutting and with the governor, the chief, a couple council members, and we opened it there, and that was a technology center that has 18 computers, 2 video units, a video teleconferencing capability, high-speed data, digital video recorders for cable in the classroom. We have a partnership with LAUSD by nature of the fact that there are 18 students that will be there, and we formed that partnership. Our plan is to roll out 7 more this coming year. The next one will be at Community Coalition, and we are always interested in finding good, solid community groups, community organizations that are already actively serving the community with enough room for us to put the equipment in and donate it. And again, that's basically all we do is go in, we engineer it, we build it, we create the educational partnerships. So I would be very interested in hearing from you and any other colleagues, particularly those staring at me right now. We are looking for good places to put these things. We're looking to get that technology out to people and to make sure that people have access to it. And if I can, just a real quick observation about the Jimmy's operation. When we took the first tour, he said, well, let me show you our music lab. And I went in, and on the whiteboard, first thing was how to hold on to your publishing. And I think many of us know some of the stories of great artists who, sold their publishing or had their publishing taken from them early on. And so when I walked in and saw that as somebody involved in this industry and saw that the first thing that they were teaching beyond the art was how to make sure that you maintain ownership of your art.
Keep your stuff.
Yeah.
How many young people do we think within a year would be afforded the opportunity? This is my last question. The only reason why I don't think I'm grilling you, I'm excited about this.
No.
I'm just trying to learn as much as I can about how many kids during that first year do you think will have an opportunity to go through this program? Is it a year-long thing? Is it a 6-week thing?
It's like a 3-month, it's like on a quarter system. And we try to run about 25 students. We're trying to keep it small because we're teaching from beginning, because the kids look at the equipment and they want to run to the equipment.
Yeah, cool.
We want to teach them how to crawl, how to walk, and then how to run. So the boring stuff comes first, the theory and understanding the foundation of what music is or what the foundation of film is. Our instructor was showing them, 1950s films, understanding, what that meant back then and building the foundation, and then slowly get them into the larger part.
So you have 25 kids.
25
that do
kids,
3
about
months.
yes.
And then do they move to another phase after
Yes.
this 3 month?
Mm-hmm.
And do you bring in another 25
Correct.
kids to start at the beginning?
Correct.
Okay. I think Mr. Reyes and then Mr. Carter.
First, I want to thank Public and Jim for his hard work in my district back when you were there. And one of the questions I have for both of you is, one of the fundamental factors here is having a program that can cover the overhead so that the equipment can be used. Would that be right?
Yes.
Is that the assertion here? So when you work with nonprofits, you work with mostly educational groups, or is there a certain nonprofit profile that you prefer, or
Well, in our case, I mean, you want to find a nonprofit that obviously is healthy, strong, and has been there and is already involved in the community. You want to find, you need to find educational partners. It's critical. And we were fortunate with Roosevelt High, working with them. That sets a nice paradigm for us for the future. We know that it exists. We know it can be created. Some of the organizations, at least the first two, have people that are involved in video that are already there that want to do more. One of the great things about the Boyle Heights Technology Center is the East LA Producers Association, who have been very vocal about their dissatisfaction with the old facility. Both with Hollenbeck and with this facility, we talked to them right away and said, how committed are you to this? And they said, well, very committed. I said, well, great, then I'm going to count you guys as mentors right away. So we're going out and forming coalitions of people that have needs. I mean, LAUSD needs to reach out to kids and educate them. The East LA Producers Association needs to make sure that the voice of East LA is heard. So we basically just go in. It's not a cookie cutter, but it's a fairly solid paradigm.
Right.
And bringing those people together that are already doing these good things and just coordinating it and giving them a place to do it. I mean, that's what Time Warner brings us, the technology and the equipment and the expertise to say, okay, here's the tools, now what do we do with them?
Well, I just want to say if more industries and the private sector could look at your approach and the model that you have, we can be duplicating this in many different sectors of our economy and different industries.
Well, this comes from, our division president, Jeffrey Hirsch, came here from Rochester, and he was here not too long, and the first thing he talked about was, we got to get technology in the hands of people that need it, and he had done this in Rochester, and he basically said, hey, you go out and do it. And so I think the leadership from our senior management, this is not something that was forced upon them. This is something that was initiated by them. And I just want to make sure I publicly say that was something that was a vision of somebody that came into town with fresh eyes and said what needs to be done.
Well, that's smart that you would say that. We'll send him a copy of the audio. Carry it on and make sure it's real clean and crisp. Mr. Cardenas.
Yeah, thank you. We, members, all 15 of us need to understand that I think that we do have a great opportunity for partnership with Comcast, and there's another motion rolling around the council to figure out how we're going to address the issues of digital inclusion, which certainly is, when somebody makes that statement, if you understand what that's about, it's about certain communities, and especially minority communities, really not having access to technology in certain industries and things of that nature. So I think it's important for us to understand that this is the year in which we need to advance on these things, find a facility, find good people who have the synergy and energy and commitment to want to work in that community and make it happen. And I think this is a great model for what we can do in many places. So I think that Councilmember Wiesad and his community are very, very fortunate to have this program. But more importantly to all of us, it's wonderful to see the model that has been created. I'm sorry, Time Warner. Where'd that come from? Thank you.
It's called good staffing.
Please don't send that portion of the tape to my hand.
Is that why his eyes opened up?
Well, you got that audio editing capability.
Names and faces and corporations have changed in this industry, and certainly the statutes of the state of California have changed as well, which goes to the issue of making sure that we do partner and work together this year, because with all due respect, it is a business. And you represent Time Warner, which is a business, and you're there and you want to get back to the community. And there are requirements and certain funds that are rolling around to and from local government, where we have a responsibility to look at these opportunities and say we have the wherewithal to duplicate them. And without that wherewithal, especially in tough budget times, we need to spearhead this and make sure that we take models like this. Even though we're excited about them, we all are, we need to pull them apart and see if they can stand the test of good scrutiny and good questions, so that we can say, this is something we want to duplicate and something we can duplicate. And this is why we can duplicate it, because it is well thought out. It does have the kind of facilities that are necessary to be successful. So I think it's very important for us to understand that when we see these kinds of things, we need to figure out in our minds as representatives, how can we do more?
Yeah.
If we can affect a few dozen kids, how can we affect a few hundred and then a few thousand? And one of my suggestions and recommendations, when you talk about taking them from the beginning, showing them the boring stuff, and then before they get to touch the equipment and learn the equipment and be professionals at it, you may want to look at your community colleges. And a lot of people, especially in poor communities, don't understand. You can take a college course when you're 14 years old. More and more of our charter schools are doing that, where you have junior high students and high school students actually taking college courses, passing those courses and getting college credit. To me, the most important thing about that is for the kids to open their eyes and say, my gosh, if I can get past a college class at 14, 15 years old, why aren't I going to go to college? Which is one of the biggest problems with our youth, especially when they're 14 and 15 years old. They don't see the connection between school and their future as an adult. So for them to get involved in a program like this, where it looks fun and there's glitz and glamour and it looks exciting, but them to actually be introduced to something that is fundamental to success in this country, which is a higher education, I think it's very important for you to please look into that. And you're probably going to find a dynamic individual on that campus who's willing to talk to the campus president. And maybe not overnight, but after a year or two, you're going to find that you're going to give these kids college credit and then give them even more than you ever thought. So congratulations.
And I want to congratulate you as well. But go.
Thank you. Council member, I've already started that process with East LA College. I do have East LA College courses at the Tech Center now that 90% of the parents, because we're open almost 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, parents are taking now child development courses, college courses. We're talking
good.
about...
I'll steal you and put you in my district in a minute if I can.
I'm working with Cal State LA now, and Cal State LA on January 19th will be doing, with the Pepsi Leadership Foundation at Cal State LA, will be doing workshops at the center on financial aid and personal statements and getting ready students for college bound. So the footwork is already starting. The two people that I hired for the music and film, I went to USC and UCLA and Cal State LA systems to look at students that were, one, either getting ready to graduate or had graduated from the institute and then are willing to come back. So I've started that groundwork.
So
because
you got the students from UCLA, right?
Yes. And we have UCLA Vista volunteers there as well. So I look at every resource because of our budgets, me being a city employee, and I understand where we're at with our budget cuts. And so I've been fortunate that they've been allowing me to look at other options of finding and leveraging resources, and I've been lucky in finding them, and good people, like you said.
Well, let's keep, keep us apprised, anything we can do. I would like, when you
will
finish
get
with the DVD, to get a copy. And I know our schedules are crazy, but maybe once you get this thing rolling, I can sneak over and take a look at it. I'd love to see how it works and, see the kids actually in there doing it. I like to do that kind of stuff. Then without objection, we will approve the CLA's recommendations and adopt the motion. Mr. City Attorney, before I bring a public hearing, can we just, unless Mr. Cardenas has a question, can we just take items 1 through 5 and without objection approve them? Before we approve them as a communique from the chair, but we could take items 1 through 5 now and approve them as a vote.
Add Mr. Cardenas's vote to yours and Mr. Reyes'.
Sure. Okay. Then without objection,
1 to 5.
Those items will be deemed approved. Chuck Tenon and then Arnold Sachs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Come on, Chuckster.
Good job,
Chuck. Chuck, you're at the plate. Happy New Year, Chuck.
Happy New Year to you and Ed and Tony. I have two issues. Oop, they started the timer.
Alan, if we could,
Good morning. I have two issues. The first one is a housing issue, a tenant protection. The city needs to enforce non-compliance of track map conditions. A case in point, the Magnolia Boulevard project, where the developer agreed to a track map condition that was approved by the city council and is not complying by not paying the tenants additional relocation as agreed. Instead, he lost his construction loan and said if and when he gets a new one, which may be never, and he breaks ground, he'll pay the tenants. Now, as of yesterday, he says he can't get a loan for condos, so he plans to build apartments and the tenants may never get paid. When rules are changed by the developer with new conditions, the planning department needs to be directed to conduct an abatement hearing, a revocation, to determine if the approval be revoked in the absence of full compliance. If the city council members care about protecting the people, enforce it and introduce a motion. On a brighter note, I in no wise propose to you an idea. It has to do with community and economic development. It's an idea we came up with for the new year, 100 ways to make the city of Los Angeles a better place to live. It's a challenge for 2008. Basically how it works, each council member comes up with one idea or way, that's 15. The public comes up with 35 ideas or ways, that's 35 more. And the mayor sponsors a citywide kids essay contest, 100 words, on a way to make the city of Los Angeles a better place to live. Choose the 50 best essays and rewards these kids who are the future of this city and could have some great ideas with a deluxe fishing trip adventure. That's 50 more. It's a joint venture participation for 2008 between city council members, the mayor's office, the city of Los Angeles, and the public. It's an idea that can work and create better ways to make Los Angeles a better place. I can think of one, come up with a good citywide housing policy for the people, one that works and is enforced by the city.
wrap it up, Chuck. I didn't buzz you, but you...
Okay. I said, but kids can come up with better ideas because they're the future of the city, and this would be a great thing. 100 ways to make the city of Los Angeles a better place to live. Thank you.
Mr. Sack.
Good morning. Welcome back. I actually was going to address item number 1, but I thought it had already been gone through legislation because I got here late, so I put in a public comment. My comment actually is dealing with the $87,000 contract to another outside legal firm, especially ones regarding the Bunker Hill redevelopment project. I do believe, unless I'm wrong, that they received some kind of incentives from the city for the development that they're going to be creating there, and now the city's going to have to pony up $87,000 for outside legal funding on top of giving them incentives to build. Where's the rush to maintain or control some kind of budgetary expense there? Number 2, I wanted to speak about Councilman Cardenas. I appreciate the fact that you brought up some information I had no idea about regarding the fact that junior high school students couldn't take, or high school students can take college courses. I think that needs to be pushed to or brought to the attention of the Board of Education so that all schools throughout the county or throughout the city are aware of that, not just the schools that you mentioned, the brain cramp. Charter schools, but public schools should know about that. And maybe the schools in the disadvantaged areas of L.A. will be able to give their students incentives that they can take these courses that they don't know about because the Board of Education is too busy leaving no child left behind. And finally, I'm not sure if this is part of your domain or anything, but there's been some articles in the newspaper recently regarding Quimby funds. you need, to, if it's part of your domain or any part of, even if you abut it, you need to be able to put some kind of review that comes before the board, about $120 million so far, supposedly, that needs to be done on a monthly basis until somebody comes up and says, let's find out where the last $20 million, never mind the first $100 million from the 5 previous years, what about the funding from last year? The city's in a $14 million budget hole. You can't find the money for the Quimby Fund, you can put it to the budget, who cares? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Sack. Ms. Barclay, is there any more business before this committee?
No, sir.
Then this committee is adjourned. Thank all of you for coming. Okay, Andrew, I'm going to run. In fact, come with us. Okay, see you in a little bit.
It'll come, like what item? And are there time frames? Like when you... Okay.
And I have to take it down. Okay. Come on, yeah. How's the wife? She's doing good. Take care.
Take care. See you in
Pleasure to meet you. Okay?
Okay.
And you have a good sense of humor. So I like people like that. Come back here.
Hey, I got the stuff for the agenda. I'll rough it up today and forward it up to you. But only, so, not too many?
Where ours is going to be.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew.
Maybe somebody in my office calls it.